First Holmes was born, then he got fat, bald, and tired. Stop, Holmes.
I can't hear you, Eva.
Beware your host, Jonathan Holmes.
Thanks, Sinistar. I appreciate to Sos Sosowski. Is that how I say your name, Sos? Ring ring?
Sos Sosowski, yeah.
Sos Sosowski. What a wonderful name. It's right up there with Robbie Robertson and Dick York. It's some of the best alliterative names. Are you familiar with Dick York?
No, who's that?
He was one of the dads on Bewitched. He's one of the Darrens. How about Bob Balaban?
No, I don't know him.
Well, you're right up there with all those guys. Bob Balaban's a bearded man, and he is in movies. He was in, I think, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a pretty good movie. So thank you so much for being on the show. This is really exciting. Where are you coming from? Where are you right now?
Thanks for the invite in the first place. And I'm from Poland. I live in a super rural village in the middle of the forest.
Really? How long have you lived there for?
10 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. I knew one woman from Poland. She was an au pair, and there's a troubling story that, as we get to know each other, maybe I'll tell you more about it.
Okay.
That's all I really know about Poland. What's the gaming scene like in Poland?
I don't know. There are lots of big commercial studios hiring in Poland, but I don't actually know many indie developers from Poland. You know, I met a few freelancers that do contract works, but I haven't met people that do full-time indie games. The indie games, you make games that you want to make.
Sure. So what got you doing it? Is seeing as you didn't know anyone else who was on board for that. How did you kind of build up the courage to go whole hog as you have with indie games?
Well, if I'm not going to risk stuff when I'm young and pretty, when I'm going to do that? I won't risk going leaving my job and going indie if it's not knowing if it's going to work, if I'm old and have kids and stuff. So I'm I tried it out. I was a teacher. I actually was a teacher in a primary school, teaching little pupils from 8, 9 years old. English. I was teaching English as a foreign language. So I decided to quit the job because I got a programmer's job. I was looking I was making games in my free time. I was showing the games to the employees, and I got a yes. I got a green light in a small studio. I was working there for a year, but then everything collapsed. I hope it wasn't my fault. And
what studio was that?
It was Perfect Game Studio. I was working on a super ambitious MMO social game that didn't actually work as intended.
Oh, interesting. How did you enjoy working on that sort of game?
I don't know. I just got invited to an interview. They did an interview, then said oh hey, come to work. I haven't even worked on any project, any commercial project, and not even this big with networking and super advanced 3D stuff. Yeah, I actually learned a lot from that. But yeah, they it didn't work out in the end. I left the job. I started looking for a new one. And I got the furthest in the employing process. I got with the frictional games, the guys who made Amnesia. Yeah, and the final task, I think there was me and someone else doing it. There was a final task to do paid something with the engine for 2 weeks. I did it. I did the task. I didn't get the job, but I got the money that I could spend to take a month to make my own game. So I decided I will try myself. I will make my own game. I made it. It was called Thelemite. And yeah, when I got a sponsorship from Newgrounds, it was a big lump of money, and I decided that I'm never going to work again. I'm gonna make games that I want to make. So yeah,
awesome. I didn't realize, and we should tell the people about, how do I pronounce it properly? I've read it, but I've never said it aloud. Thelemite?
Thelemite.
Thelemite, just Thelemite, which is a 2D action platformer that feels a lot like a prototype game, actually. And I mean that in the best possible way. It feels like a simplified, distilled, intensified funnier prototype. Was that what you were
Prototype,
going for?
yeah, it was like Prototype was my inspiration for this, like wall running. At first, it was going to be called the game because I like when I make my games, I don't announce them at the beginning, and then at some point, I tend to like swap everything around. The primary name for the game was Tripping Balls in Ponyland. About about it was about killing ponies in Ponyland, and the ponies have strawberry guts, and you have to eat the guts to get like EXP points and advance. And yeah, I didn't like that idea. I scrapped it and decided to do like a total Prototype ripoff in 2D about like mutant ninja action. And
Right,
yeah,
but you're much funnier about it. And it's not on the surface that it's a prototype ripoff. I think you need to dig a little deeper to see that. On the surface, it just seems like a awesome, fast-paced, funny action game.
thanks. Well, yeah, I actually contacted the Radical guys about it. I even got some feedback for the early beta version of the Thelemite. But
Oh, really?
yeah, I'm not supposed to tell this to anyone. But you're fine.
Yeah, it's just a phone call. Nobody's gonna
Okay.
hear it. Yeah, it'll be fine. So when did you make Thelemite? How long has that game been out?
It was soon. It will be a year
Oh,
from when
wow.
it was released. Yeah, it
So
was like a year ago.
And you've there's a lot of other games on your list of accomplishments, like the game about the kittens. There's a game about Congress.
Yeah,
You've covered a lot
yeah,
of
I
different topics.
Yeah, my games, my like portfolio website is full of everything. I decided I will go full communism here. So like McPixel, the game that I spend a year on, or Thelemite, a game that I spend a month on, is
Mhm.
in the same line with games that I spend like 1 hour, or even my best achievement is 18 minutes. Like,
Which game did you make in 80 minutes?
it's Lazy Confetti Laser. It's a game about nothing at all.
And you were polite enough to review all of your own games, and some of them you don't like. You're quick to tell us they're cold or lukewarm. It took a lot of guts to do that, I thought.
Yeah, I love my old games, you know. It's like they're my babies.
Mm-hmm. But there's some that you love more than others, or at least they heat you up more than others, it seems like.
I don't know. There are definitely some games that I enjoy playing more. I even like made games because just because I wanted to play them. Like I'm a chess without turns. It's a simple flash game where you connect two people through the internet. There is a simple matchmaking of a chess game. You have a chessboard, one player gets the white pieces, one player gets the black pieces, but there are no turns. So the one that goes faster wins, simply. And yeah,
Well, there's some strategy in there too. It almost feels like a Call of Duty feeling of just like fast-paced. Anyone could die at any time. Rule breaking. That's the thing to me about Call of Duty. I don't know what you think of that series, but in a
I
way,
don't know,
it's like,
because
yeah.
I didn't play Call of Duty actually.
Huh, have you ever played it at all?
No, I think I played like the early version. No, I think it was Medal of Honor. Are these two games even different? I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I guess in general, first-person shooters, a lot of the basics of game design about rules, I feel like get broken down, and it's just putting a guy in a field with a gun and another guy with the same gun, and whoever kills each other the best wins. Whereas in traditional game design, it's all about, well, if you follow the rules of the game, you'll do well, and if you die, you'll know why you died, and then you'll learn how to not die anymore. In first-person shooters, you just get shot in the
Actually,
face.
I like first-person shooter, but I don't like the tactical ones. That you actually, like you said, you actually have to have tactics. I enjoy like first-person shooters that you have hordes of mindless enemies running at you like Serious Sam. I think Serious Sam would like need 3 times more enemies, and that would be like the best game ever.
Would you ever want to make a Serious Sam game if you were given the opportunity?
I don't know. No, I would like to make my own games, I think.
Yeah, you've done well with that so far. And we were talking about McPixel a little bit earlier. That's definitely the game that from what I know, is the most famous and the most beloved out of all your creations. And it's gone on an interesting path in terms of how it's ascended into greater and greater renown.
I yeah,
Tell us about that.
I'm actually totally like my mind is blown. What has happened during the last 2 months actually? McPixel got released. I was totally crunching to get it done. I lost a bit of my motivation, but then I went and met to Indie Connect meetup in Berlin. I met Vlambeer Games. I met Cactus. I met C418 and many other indie developers. Ed Clef from Proteus. And they were like, I showed them McPixel. They were like, man, this game is great. You gotta finish it. My motivation went like skyrocketing up, and I was able to finish McPixel. I thought that, I'm never going to finish it. So much work there is still to do with it. And yeah, I was going, thanks to that motivation, I was going to do to finish it within a month from then. And I thought, hey, I'm going to rest now. Yeah, I'm going to like have a vacation, took a day off, and no. Hello, this is the internet. Your vacation is cancelled. First, First big thing was Jesse Cox. He's a like famous YouTube Let's Player. He played McPixel. When he did a Domino Effect Fallout with so many people playing McPixel on YouTube that I would have to watch it like on 8 screens on 3 monitors, 24/7 to watch all of it that gets uploaded to YouTube. I was at first I was amazed. Why are people uploading this? It's like it's all the same. You can't do anything different in McPixel. There's a set like of endings of gags that you can do, but then I realized that it's not actually hard. Like if you want to upload a Call of Duty video, you have to have skills and show something off. And in McPixel, you just click stuff and stuff happens. So yeah, then I heard about Greenlight. I was actually trying to get to Steam like through the old process where you fill out a form and fill it out again and fill it out again and they don't reply. So yeah, that was the old process and I didn't get any reply from them. So I decided, yeah, this is like a great opportunity. I got people asking if McPixel is going to be on Steam soon. So I was, yeah, I might get some votes and it's like my only opportunity because this game is not going through Valve's QA process or like any QA process at all. Like you launch the game and you have a brain damage warning, then the guy pisses on a bomb and blows up, then a rock falls on him, then he kicks an old guy and kicks a baby in the butt, and the game haven't even begun. So yeah, it's not going through any QA process at all. So yeah, I thought about Greenlight. I put it up on Greenlight thanks to the like Jesse Cox Let's Play and PewDiePie later Let's Play did too. I got most of the votes thanks to them. They even advertised McPixel on Greenlight. And yes, Reddit. So there was a Sunday, I think, and I was sleeping soundly. It was 1 p.m. in the middle of the night. And my phone called telling me that all your websites are down and something Reddit, and I didn't make anything out of it, but that my websites are down and I am going to wake up. So I woke up, I realized that someone seen the Pirate Bay website of McPixel where I left a comment. Because, yeah, I was going to the Pirate Bay looking for McPixel, actually. Like, being an indie game on the Pirate Bay is quite an achievement, you know? And I was like, hey, McPixel is on Pirate Bay. I was looking a few days before and it was there. I was like, great. I wrote a comment telling that I'm actually excited about it, that McPixel is on Pirate Bay, but I'm one guy, and if they like the game, they should show me some money, because this is like, I make a living out of it. And if you can't buy, I like symbolically left few gift codes. Someone screenshotted it, put it out on Reddit, it's skyrocketed into place 1 on the Reddit front page. Yeah, and everything, yeah, all my websites went down from the like friendly DDoS. And I wanted to join in the conversation. People started asking me questions and requested that I do an Emma, Ask Me Anything. I was doing the Ask Me Anything for 12 hours. I actually had sore fingers for 3 days later. And within the comments, there was one comment signed the Pirate Bay. Hey, we have an offer for you. The Pirate Bay. check your email. I checked my email. I didn't see anything. The day later, I checked the spam box, and there was an actually email from the Pirate Bay offering a promo. They said that they think what I did is cool, and they want to offer a promo, and they actually didn't do any promo for video games. They only promoted movies and music, but no video games. So yeah, I was like the pioneer, the first guy to get the video game promoted, and thanks to this, I got greenlit because 2 days later the first greenlight batch was announced. I was able to sneak my way into the top 10, and also I was able to voice my opinion like on piracy.
Yeah,
It was,
and that got people identifying with you and liking you. Would you consider that marketing what you did in talking about piracy? Because it sounds like you
Yes.
just brought it up on offhand comment on Pirate Bay. You weren't looking to kind of publicize yourself through that. You were just in the midst of a normal conversation, and then
Yeah, it actually went through my head when I was leaving the comment. I seen like stuff like that before posted on Reddit, and I thought, hey, maybe someone going to see it on Reddit, but then like I totally forgot about it. I just left the comment and left the. I just wanted to be nice, like, and I want actually to encourage them to give me money. This was my first point there. I am the only guy. I make my games, and I make this for a living. Give me some money. I think it even said, give me all your money. So yeah.
yeah, but a lot of people would have not thought to do that on Pirate Bay. They would have said, "Oh, take this down for Pirate Bay. You're costing me money."
Yeah,
and
what is the gain? What is the gain? They're going to piss off the pirates, and they're not going to be satisfied. They're going like to make enemies instead of making friends. They're like someone who wanted to buy the game and didn't want to pirate it would notice it and not buy the game. If you left like a friendly comment on Pirate Bay, then someone that didn't want to buy the game but wanted to pirate it might buy the game. So it works both way around.
Mm-hmm. So how do you really feel about it when people pirate your game? What's your real
Yeah,
emotion?
I really feel fine. In the beginning, I was actually sending the YMCA thing, or DMCA. I don't know. I always call it YMCA to the like rapid share and the like file hosting things because I was saying that real pirates use torrents. And yeah, but then like oh, what the hell, let them be there. Because I don't feel like piracy is bad. Piracy, like the whole thing that it financially harms anyone, is like total bull crap. It's like I don't lose anything. When someone downloads my game, he doesn't take anything away from me. I don't lose anything, and he gains a game. He might throw it to someone else. It actually might end up in profit for me that he is pirating my game, but it does not end up in loss, in financial loss at all. If it did, then after the promo bay where I gave the game away for free to pirate, I would be like totally broke. I would be more broke than my country is even, I think.
How much money did you make? You don't have to give me exact numbers, but yeah.
The numbers were published on the website. I made 7,000 something bucks through the weekend.
Wow.
So yeah, I think like not everyone is going to be promoted in the front page of Pirate Bay, but I proved the point that thanks to piracy, you can actually make some bucks instead of lose some bucks, and you don't actually lose some bucks, any bucks.
And do you have an opinion about, because the first time I witnessed that kind of philosophy towards distributing your games and connecting with people who might be pirating it was Minecraft. It seemed like with Minecraft, they didn't run from piracy. They just wanted to make a product that was good enough and connect with their audience enough that people would choose to buy it instead of pirating it, or maybe pirate it almost like a demo experience, and then after they get something out of it, say, I willingly want to give this person my money, almost in a Kickstarter sort of way. And then Kickstarter kind of blew up from there. And I feel like your game is the next extension of that. So did any of that, did Minecraft's success or Kickstarter's success influence you at all in thinking that this is a way that could work?
No, I don't know. It was just my opinion about piracy. I had it all along.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about the Minecraft early development process of Minecraft, and I don't look at Kickstarter at all because I mean, I don't look at Kickstarter in a way that I would be there because actually in Poland, it is thanks to the uh, law from like 1912. You are forbidden to raise money internationally until you get a consent from the Department of Foreign Affairs. Yes, it's like super old law that didn't get striped, and you actually can't use Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or anything at all until you get the ministry's consent.
Whoa, that might be even harder than getting on Steam.
Yeah.
History of foreign affairs. And tell me a little bit more about the whole process of putting yourself out there and what you think of the idea that YouTube Let's Plays were like your main marketing drive at first. You're just one man without any money to push your game, but without any marketing department at all, you've sold all this. You've made all this money, you sold all these copies, got all this attention. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I don't actually, I can't put this together what happened. I know what happened, like one thing after another, but like I can't tell the reason behind it. Like the YouTube Let's Plays, people just picked it up and started to play it. I think like it was Jesse Cox, he was suggested the game, and then someone saw Jesse Cox Let's Play and suggested the game to PewDiePie, then he started playing it, then other people started playing game. As I said, I just think that McPixel is a good YouTube material. Perhaps it's a better YouTube material than actual game material overall. Because I heard people saying that they enjoy watching people play it more than playing it themselves.
Huh, interesting. And how many views did those Let's Plays get last time you looked anyway?
Last time I looked, the highest one from PewDiePie had like 1.5 million.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. I make videos on the internet sometimes, and I'll be interviewing the president of Nintendo of America, or Hoist Gracie, or a professional wrestler, or rich and famous people, and I'll get like 20,000 views. And someone just playing your video game, and it's not like the Let's Plays have huge marketing departments either. They are just people on the internet hoping people like and subscribe their videos, but if they put out content that's no good, it's not like they have a marketing department that'll force people to watch it or convince them to watch it. It has to be funny or else it won't catch on, and that's what happened with your game.
Perhaps it's because my game has tits and anger.
That's so flattering that the creator of a hilarious video game quoted my dumb joke from earlier this morning. Thank you, Sos. That means a lot. So what are you planning on doing moving forward? You've created McPixel. It's out there. It's hopefully gonna only pick up audience from here. Is it currently on Steam, or did it just get the okay for
It's on
green
Steam.
light? I thought so.
It got okay, and I was rushing. I actually wanted to be the first. I didn't realize at first that the other 10 games or 9 games that were picked are not finished. And the games are not finished, and they are probably not going on Steam anytime soon. So I was like crunching 16 hours a day to work my way and get the game on Steam. And yeah, when I got there, and then I think a month passed already after the release, and it's still the only greenlit game. It also brought some like hate because some of the users are really disappointed. They wanted like Black Mesa and all these cool-looking games, and they didn't really like McPixel, and now they are like venting the anger inside like McPixel forums and McPixel comments and everywhere around. And yeah, I think I'm going to I need to respond to these, but I don't really know what to tell them.
Yeah,
But
that must be
yeah,
really
because
hard.
I can actually understand that. I'm not mad at all. I can understand that they don't like McPixel. They voted for other games. They were really excited when they seen that the first game got released, and it's McPixel.
Well, I'm of the opinion that they shouldn't get so uptight and take it that seriously. There's other games that will be greenlit eventually, and taking from it the fact that McPixel is a game that is humble and is genuine, and there's no one of the things I love about it is that there was no game like that was ever a huge success prior to that. It's and we haven't talked much about the game yet. We probably should for people who haven't played it. My take on it is it's like a cross between WarioWare, uh, a brilliant absurdist comedy like a Monty Python cartoon, perhaps, and an adventure game like a traditional point-and-click adventure game, all in one, which is all things that I love, and it's also all things you don't get a lot of in either the indie game scene or the AAA scene or just video games in general. There's kind of a lack of comedy games and a lack of fast-paced absurdity and lack of adventure, and you combine them all together in a wonderful package called McPixel. Great job.
Yeah. Thanks. Well, actually people compare McPixel, say that it's a mix between WarioWare and Monkey Island, and I will say yeah, but I actually haven't played Monkey Island at all, and I played like 5 minutes of WarioWare.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I use those games as an example because they're games that maybe people have heard of, but even that doesn't really describe it. It is a very unique experience, McPixel. Was there any game that you did play that you thought, oh well, because this did well, I can make something like McPixel and it'll be a huge hit? Or was McPixel just purely from your brain and nowhere
No,
else?
it's like purely from my brain. Someone even joked that what would you do if I told you that you have to make a game about pissing on bombs and kicking people in the crotch a year ago? So yeah, it's like I didn't think about like selling it. Cactus, the cactus that makes Hotline Miami, had a pretty good like speech. The speech about it that you shouldn't make games to sell them. You should make games to make games for people to play. If your game is good and people like to play it, you will get money because they will buy it. And if you make games only because you want to make money and make games just to sell, you are basically making Farmville or something like that.
And that just
Yes.
goes without saying that that's something you should be ashamed of if you're making fun
Yeah,
of.
I don't think it's actually something you should be ashamed of, but the point is that games that are made for playing, not for buying, are better because they are for playing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
I actually didn't think about like if MacPixel would sell or it wouldn't sell. It was made. I had a really good feedback because initially it was made for the Ludum Dare. Ludum Dare is a competition where you make games in 48 hours, and the theme was escape. I was thinking up ideas, and I thought about like, hey, what about like escape, like MacGyver or MacGruber type of escape? Like where you have like few objects and it's an adventure game, and because there was like the 48-hour limits, I had to cut down the time, so it couldn't have been a big adventure game. So I thought, what about the like 20-second streaks, like the SNL skits from MacGruber? They're like 30 or 20 seconds each. And I thought about doing that and also making fun about the really obscure and not straightforward solutions in the old adventure games. Like you get, I don't know, like one example in a Discworld game, the DOS adventure game, you had to transform a dragon into a rifle to shoot into another dragon. Like you didn't have anything, you just had to take the dragon and transform it into a rifle and know it that this is the thing to do. So yeah, I wanted to make fun of it. I wanted to make a short game, and my main concern was I need to finish it in 48 hours. So I cooked up an engine. It's a super simple engine that I made in first 24 hours, and I decided to take the second 24 hours to make levels. So I would have a finished game and an X number of levels. My aim was 16 first, then I took it down to 8. In the end, I made 6 of them. And I got some really good feedback. So I actually had some idea that MacPixel might get some attention if I made it in the full game. And I wanted to expand it. First, I wanted it to be a Flash game with 20-something levels on a Flash page and get a sponsorship for that. But then I realized that like it would be super cool to have 100 levels. I didn't actually even think about how much work is it. and that it doesn't matter that I made 6 levels during the Ludum Dare 48 hours, because it's like the competition is super fast paced and people do much more work in 48 hours than they do in months. So it took me almost a year to get all the 100 levels done.
Did you use the same engine that you crafted during the Ludum Dare competition for the rest of?
Like 90% the same engine that I made through the Ludum Dare. It's like really simple. I thought that I might now add some stuff, but I didn't want to. I wanted to be like super simple game that people just can sit down and play and then get out and come back.
Right. It doesn't tax you in any way. It's so instant. Your connection with the game is instant, and at least in my experience with it, it doesn't take long to just get in there and feel what you're doing. It's only a couple seconds before you see McPixel start to dry hump a PS3 or an Xbox 360. That's the way I remember it. Is that what those are? Am I reading that right?
But well, McPixel, it was a special ending in the original Ludum Dare version. If you beat the game, because if you beat the game, you only have to get one ending in each scene. And I thought, why would I let people not see all the endings that I took so much time to make? Even if they are awful, I'm going to force them to watch it. So I came up with a special ending. So I teased them. There was a winning screen said, if you want to see the special ending, you need to find all the gags. This is the like silver award for winning the level, for preventing it from blowing up, and golden award from seeing all the gags. And if you get all golds, you get in the Ludum Dare version there was McPixel dry humping a PS3 to Benny Hill music. This was the.
I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up with the. You made a special Flash version when your site was down, or when you couldn't get access to McPixel for a little bit, and he dry humps the PS3 in that at random. I mixed them up in my mind. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, well he just tends to do that.
And he's kind of you. We were talking before the show started, right before, that you, to promote McPixel, actually became McPixel for a time. Would you say that that's a literal thing? Is McPixel actually an extension of you, his character?
No,
or is it...
I actually always try to make sure that my video game characters are not me. I don't want them to be me, because that is what I think it would limit them to a certain amount of treats. And I wanted them to be like open-ended characters, and I was trying to keep that in mind all the time, that McPixel is not me. But in the end, my budget allowed me to hire a really great actor for the McPixel trailer, which is actually me. And yeah, so I went to a second-hand shop, got McPixel shoes and McPixel trousers and McPixel shirt. It costed me like $2 the entire McPixel outfit. And then I took the like hair dye. I dyed my hair blonde, then I dyed it orange. I looked in the mirror and thought, hey, why didn't you buy a wig?
So you didn't, because a lot of people who didn't follow it really closely, they thought from seeing the commercial, oh, he just looks like that all the time. He's just a kind of
orange-haired man. I had this for 2 days. I recorded the trailer. I took some photos, make sure that I don't need this hair anymore, and cut it down. Then from the sun, it faded. It looked really awful. Like I had this really short red, totally orange hair, and then it blended down to like blonde. It is now.
Yeah, it looks great, I think. I would have thought it was your natural color. But why didn't you get a wig instead of dyeing your hair?
I have no idea. I didn't even think about it. Hey, I have a hair like McPixel, I will just dye it. Like I had the actual really, really close length of the hair. So I didn't even think about getting it. I bought some wigs now because there's like a gaming expo nearby, and I'm planning to hire a really good cosplayer to promote my game, which is me. And dress up as McPixel again, and walk around playing McPixel theme song from this Ghetto Blaster.
Wow!
Yeah,
Cool.
I am totally prepared for this, and yeah, this is my way of like no budget indie promotion.
Yeah, still
This time with a wig.
And McPixel is on PC, iOS. What are all the consoles it's on for people?
It is on PC, including Mac and Linux.
Mhm.
It is on iOS. It is on Android. And there is one more port I am going to make, and I am making it now, is a Commodore 64 port. I am porting MacPixel to Commodore 64. It's a lot of work, and there is probably not going to be as colorful, at least, because Commodore has like really awful pale colors. I realized it when I tried to paint McPixel levels in Commodore Palette. So yeah, but McPixel in one way or another is coming to Commodore 64 too.
I read that, but I thought it was a joke.
No, it's like I have a Commodore here. I'm working on it all the time.
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
I'm really.
that's not in the United States. They're big brown keys. Yours are.
I have that one too, but this is like the most common version. It's my like working version. I actually am a super Commodore Mad fan, and I have 5 of these. One is here, one is like behind me in a box, and I have 3 more.
That's amazing. How many? I was a big Commodore 64 fan too. I was 12 years old. I saved up money. I had to save up $200 from babysitting. It took me a year to buy the Commodore 64, and then another year, $200 to buy the disk drive so I could play more than like Tapper and
Oh man.
Pac-Man and a couple of other cartridge games. What are some Commodore 64 games that you like?
I actually never had a disk drive. The dataset, the cassette player, was really popular here, and you could buy, because piracy was actually legal in Poland like 20 years ago, and you could buy like pirated games on tapes in shops, in like really Commodore shops.
Wow, that's amazing. What kind of games did you like to play then?
I like my favorite game. I think is like Flimbo's Quest. Flimbo's Quest. I even have it on a cartridge, and then I don't know. Spy versus Spy, perhaps.
Oh, that's a
Or
good one.
there,
Yeah, we
or
both
there
played
is a
that.
game like it's super underrated and not actually known. It's called Ghetto Blaster. It's a game where you are like a Rastafarian walking around the town with a Ghetto Blaster. You need to buy tapes from local DJs. Then you buy batteries and play the tapes to people, and people start dancing. And when you get 20 people dancing, you can sell the tape to the tape shop for $20, and this is how you make money. It's actually, yeah, it's a really great game. And there are tone deaf pedestrians that can smash your ghetto blaster or kill you.
Do you have to like jump over them or something, or do you just
No,
not play music for them?
you have to run away. You
That
have to
sounds
turn down the
incredible.
music and run away. Yeah, it's really a great game. It's called Ghetto Blaster.
I wonder if that came out here. I'll have to look. I've been ignoring the chat. Got to make sure. Oh, we've got all these questions. Do you want to answer some questions?
Okay.
Uh, they want to know what my favorite scenario in McPixel is and what your favorite scenario from McPixel is. That's TVS How King. Thank you for asking that question. Do you have a favorite scenario in McPixel?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think all of them, like I'm a communist, as with my games. I am communist with the McPixel levels. I love all of them the same. I don't actually have anything I'm especially proud of.
And what was it like to write all of that on your own? Presumably you wrote it by yourself. It's such a
Yeah.
huge risk to have comedy be kind of the crux of what your game is. If it's not funny, then forget it.
Yeah,
There was
yeah, some people don't like this like kind of humor, and if they don't like, they simply just don't enjoy the game, because that is like what the entire game revolves around. But it is indie games, and indie games are about taking risk. You have
mm,
to have like I didn't actually think about. I didn't actually. I It was a bit arrogant of me. Now that I think about it, I didn't think that someone might not find it funny. But yeah, now I see that someone might not find it funny.
have you played other somewhat similar games have a real comedy focus? That's coming out a little bit more now. I've noticed, like a Bobo's Big Adventure. Have you ever heard of that game?
Abobo's big the NES game about.
Yeah, kind of a fake NES game about a Bobo from Double Dragon, but he goes to
Yeah,
Contra, he goes to Punch Out, that sort of thing. Have you played that
yeah,
game?
I played it for a while. It's really great.
Yeah, it is good, isn't it? It would be fun to see you guys team up someday. Slow Holmes asks, how do you feel about the priority of marketing advertising when selling a game? Oh, we were talking about that earlier. Is word of mouth enough to fund a full-scale studio? Do you feel like you could continue to make games in a bigger way with the kind of marketing you've been doing
Yeah,
here?
I actually don't think I want to team up with because when I was beginning, I wanted to make stuff myself. I know that I don't have money to hire anything, or I didn't want to have people that I can play like royalty of 10% from a game that doesn't even exist. It's like it's a bit weird. So I thought I have to do stuff myself. Actually, McPixel is like my first game that I did everything myself. I wanted to do the graphics. I didn't have any idea about how to draw pixel art at all. And I just started drawing. You can see in McPixel that some levels are drawn early in the game and some are drawn like year after when I got a bit better. But I wanted to retain that feel in McPixel. And then about music. I was looking for a musician to McPixel and I was really picky. I was like, no, make this, no, make that, no, I have to do it myself. And yeah, I did the music myself. It might not be like top notch, but I have proven myself that I can do it. I can do a game myself, and I wanted to keep that way at least for a while now.
Right. So what are you working on next? Have you already announced it? Because it's pretty now that you've established that you can make it and you've got a much larger fan base than you had, this time a year and a half ago or so. Are you going to like capitalize on that and try to go for something really big this time?
No, no, I will not try to go for something big. It's like it's if the bigger you aim as an indie game developer, you can like lose more stuff. If I make a game in like few months and it doesn't get popular, then I only lost like few months of expenses. If I made a game in like 5 years and it doesn't get popular, then I am like screwed up totally.
Sure,
So I would
sure.
like,
That'll be all
yeah,
that
I would
time,
like
money, and
yeah, I would
sorry.
like to aim for something I can do for sure. And I
After
haven't
you're
started.
done with. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hmm?
What were you going to say?
I was going to say that I haven't started anything yet. I'm
I
working on the Commodore 64 thing, and I haven't started a new game yet.
Are you going to sell the Commodore 64 version for the same amount?
No, I think I'm going to give it away for free. Perhaps sell it on tapes. There is this October challenge. It is the Ludum makers do the October challenge each year where they encourage amateur developers to make games and sell them. Like is the tagline is make a game, take it to a market, and make $1. So just sell one copy or even half a copy. And because like I thought I'm already selling a game, so I'm going to take it on a hard mode. So I probably won't make it in October, but I'm going to finish the Commodore 64 McPixel, record it onto tapes, take it to an actual flea market, and try to sell it on a flea market for $1.
Can you film a video of that for the internet,
Yeah,
please?
I totally will do that.
Yeah, the world needs to see that. And I still have a working Commodore 64 and disk drive. Those things are very sturdy. So you've got a customer in me, though I can't play tapes, I don't think. I can only play floppy disks. Is that possible? I could get it on floppy disk form?
I don't have a floppy drive. I don't have floppy disk too. I don't know. You can get it in like an emulator format and play it on your PC.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I could, but that would be pretty exciting for me. How do they sell Commodore 64 games in Poland? Because here, a lot of them, especially from Electronic Arts, which used to be a company I loved, they sold them on big like records. It was like a giant record sized box with a floppy disk in there and like a big book and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome.
For Commodore 64.
Yeah, it was great. I should show you sometime. I still have them,
I
like Mail Order Monsters and Archon and Realm of Impossibility. They all got sold that way.
I don't know. I only saw like they were when I went to like Commodore Games Shop, they were only selling pirate games on tapes. So it was like one tape and it had 40 games on two sides on one tape.
That sounds incredible. I so wish I could have been in Poland back then. Let's see. Sermon asks, what's the strangest place you've ever pissed in? I think he means urinate.
pissed in.
Like,
I
where
don't
have you
know.
peed? What's a weird place you peed?
I don't know, but I once pooped into a chimney, actually. But let's not talk about it.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. I think their imaginations can do the rest. Raumer asks, what you'll be dressing up as for Halloween? Oh yeah, Halloween's coming up around
Halloween's
the bend.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me to dress up as something for Halloween. I don't, I don't really have a costume. I have for me and my girlfriend. I have two Mario and Luigi costumes. She's really short. I'm really short, but she's like super short. So she's Mario. I am Luigi. And yeah, if I don't think of anything better, I'm going to do with this.
That sounds cute. Yeah. Yeah, the Mario Brothers is a nice standby. Speaking of which, I dropped your name to the head of kind of headhunting smaller developers for Nintendo
Oh,
consoles for the 3DS and the Wii U. I can't remember if I told you that already. And they didn't. They seem pretty interested. I don't know if they've gotten in touch with you yet, but it's a kind of game, McPixel, that it's actually pretty popular in Japan. There's a game in Japan on WiiWare called uh, Pole's Big Adventure. Have you heard of it?
nope.
I'll tell you about it briefly. You play a cowboy who swears a lot, but it looks like an old NES game, but he's constantly like dropping the F-bombs and saying people are shitty and shooting lions and stuff like that. And there's like a joke. The game is all about collecting jokes, similar to McPixel. And you never know what's going to happen. You'll jump up Mario style and knock a mushroom out of a wall, and then you'll grab it and you'll just get an erection and then die. Or you'll grab it and grow so big that you can't fit on the screen and then die. Or you'll pick up normally something, an apple just gives you points, but this apple, there's like only one in the game. It looks a little rotten, and you'll dye it and then you'll eat it and then just start vomiting, that sort of thing. It was actually a Sega game that is pretty good. It's not quite as funny as McPixel in my opinion, but it's pretty funny, and it was pretty popular in Japan but never came out here. So one could make a case that there could be an audience for your types of games on Nintendo consoles. That would be
But
fun.
I couldn't, as I could imagine McPixel on like Wii played with a Wiimote. I couldn't imagine like McPixel 3D for 3DS.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I don't know if you have a 3DS, but pixel-based games often benefit the most, in my opinion, from the 3D. Because the problem with pixel-based graphics is they're just inherently flat, even if they're simple and easy to look at. Their flatness can make it hard to make out where objects are and just kind of makes it look less real. But with 3D, you just pop out the flat character, and that issue's instantly taken care of. So yeah, I would play it on the 3DS. Absolutely, I would. Oh man, I just babbled for a while. There's so many more questions too. I'm sorry to ignore you, listeners. Noxious asks, the popularity of digital distribution seems to be a huge boon for indie publishers. Do you think digital distribution can or will totally replace physical media for larger publishers?
Well, I don't know. It's like I think it will follow the path of music and videos. Like we get digital music, we get digital videos or videos or on demand and stuff. But there are also still DVDs. You can buy DVDs. You can buy CDs with musics, or you can even buy the like old vinyl records, like the big black ones. You can still buy this. So I think it might be like the main factor. It's already, I think it already is it? The
Yeah,
the most games are being sold through the internet, right?
just about, yeah. Full-sized retail games are being sold on Xbox 360, PS3, Steam, and they're going to be on the Wii U as well, and on 3DS and PlayStation Vita. So
Yeah. So,
pretty much everything, yeah.
but I don't think it's going to like replace it totally. No, probably not.
My guess is that there's going to be a larger divide going forward between people who want to seek out video games, and those are the people who are going to be willing to go on digital platforms, and then people who need to be told, oh, you're bored right now, why don't you go play this video game? And they'll see a commercial for it on TV or something, or they'll be at the store being bored, just like they bought all their cereal and underwear for the week and they're bored, and they're like, oh, I guess I'll go to the video game aisle, and something will jump out at them and they'll buy it. And I'm guessing those audiences are going to get more and more distinct as time moves on. What do you think of that theory? Does that make any sense?
Uh, Perhaps yes.
That was the most polite and dismissive combination of answer I've ever. That was awesome. The sorceress asks, "Is there going to be another Indie Buskers? What the
Indie
heck is Indie
Buskers.
Buskers?
Indie
Tell me about
Buskers.
Indie Buskers."
Indie Buskers was like I was really close to releasing McPixel and I was totally out of money. So I went to IRC channel and started ranting about it. Oh man, I don't have any food in the fridge. And another guy went like, yeah, me too. And someone went, yeah, me too. And everyone was poor, so we decided that we are going to do like busking, like the Mojam, where we are making a games in 48 hours live, but we wanted the live streams to be free, and people who pay get our games in the 48 hours. So it was mostly focused on the performance. We are buskers, like we are performing, making a game in 48 hours, and you can watch, and you can also buy them. And yeah,
Wow, did you do that?
we did that. There is like
How'd it go?
indiebuskers.net. I think it is the next one. The next one is going to be pretty soon. I don't know if I'm going to participate because one rule of being the indie busker is that you have to be poor. I am not poor at the moment, so I am left out. But yeah, indie buskers, it is going to happen soon again with other people, with some more new guests. Yeah, we started like what are we going to do about it? We are super poor. Let's do something. Then we made a website, called it Indie Buskers, made a Twitter account, and it was totally secret. We said that we are Indie Buskers, and the rest is secret. And like as super many people came out to it, like, hey, what is it? Hey, Indie Buskers, Indie. I think that just because it has Indie in the word, and they were speculating what is it going to be about and who is it going to be. Then we added like 5 people that were like blacked out. You didn't see who is going to be, and we started uncovering them one by one. Then asking people, like it was like super crazy and out of the box, like made up on the spot marketing for indie buskers. Then we asked for game ideas. Then people voted on the game ideas. Then we picked one of the game ideas, and no, the most voted one was made by us. I was making like a roguelike where you have to climb through the office, and I made a game called Super Office Stress out of that. It is now open source game.
Can I go
Yeah,
play
so
that after?
yeah, it's superofficestress.com.
Stone.com. Of course it does. It sounds really exciting. Did you do the graphics for that as well, or did you just
Yeah,
do
I did.
design?
You can, like, you're a guy in the office and you can equip office equipment as your body parts. So you can throw away your, like, torso and equip a bookshelf and photocopiers as your legs, or I don't know, like, whatever you can find. And
That sounds
it adds to,
incredible.
like, statistics. No, it's like is a roguelike. I never liked roguelikes and that they are turn-based and have awful graphics. So yeah, I totally retained the awful graphics. It is a 3D game, but someone told me, hey, roguelikes have to has awful graphics. Okay, I can do that. So
So
it
is it
has
turn-based combat as well with copying
no,
machines? And
it's I call it an action roguelike. It's actually me being lazy and having no idea how roguelikes works.
that sounds better than a roguelike to me. That sounds like could if you took it farther, it could be kind of a Binding of Isaac type action, randomized, non-stop adventure. I'd play it.
Just go and play it. It's fun. I like it.
I will. There's tons of stuff I want to ask you, but I have to make sure I don't ignore the questions. We're getting tons of questions on this episode, so thank you for being popular and bringing the people in. Vlambeer asks, have you gotten any better at hitchhiking?
There is a story behind this question, actually. I have there was a Nomo Sweden. It's an indie meetup in Sweden. And it was like soon after McPixel got released. I didn't have much money. I wanted to go to No More Sweden, so I decided that I will take my girlfriend and we will hitchhike. We hitchhike I'm from Poland, so we had to go to Germany and then north. and we missed our way north. Went past Berlin into the central area of Germany, and nobody was going north there, and people were actually like, "Don't go north." Were warning us not to go there, and we
Huh.
spent like a night there, and decided like, "Hey, we are not going to get into Sweden like in a week or so. We are not going even to make it. What do we do?" And we decided like we will go anywhere. So we changed spots for catching rides, and before we even started looking for a ride, a guy approached us from a like big truck driver, approached us and was like, "Hey, where are you going?" I don't know, where are you going? He showed us on a map that he's going to Netherlands through Utrecht, where the Vlambeer is located. And I was like, "Hey, if we're not going to Sweden, let's meet up with the Vlambeer guys at least." So we got with him. We were driving, and on the same day we went out of the track in Utrecht. It was like the city is super pretty. It was like we were amazed. Wow, this is so pretty. And then I found a like cafe with internet, and tweeted that I'm in Utrecht right now. And I tweeted like 2 days before. I tweeted that I am hitchhiking to Sweden, and immediately Remy called me and told me, "You are the worst hitchhiker ever. Are you aware that you are further from Sweden than you were at the start?"
That's Rami Ismail from Vlambeer, who made Super Crate Box, and
Yeah.
their new game's called Luft. Oh, what's it called? I'm blanking on the name.
Luftrausers.
That's it. I can never pronounce it right. It's so nice and European coming from your face. Yeah, I'm really excited about that game.
Yeah, it's really. I played an early version. It's like really great, and so many bullets. It's like totally my type of game. I love action games and action games that have like you can destroy everything, and it's like I feel it is a game made for me. I was waiting for it.
It doesn't. There's something about the violence in it that doesn't give me any sort of a yuck feeling like I sometimes get from a really realistic game, too.
Yeah, because there is no blood and like there is no people. You only shoot like ships and airplanes, and like the people inside are not visible. It's like there are like 200 people on each ship, but you actually don't see it. So it's better to kill a ship if you don't see it.
Yeah, it brings me back to those days of kind of violent innocence or innocent violence. That makes me wonder, how do you think McPixel would be with like either photorealistic polygon-based graphics or with actual pictures of you and other people, like Mortal Kombat style?
Yeah,
playing their
I was
game?
actually thinking about it to make a level just to see how it would look, but in the end I didn't make it. I think it wouldn't work so well because I wouldn't be able to do so many effects. Like the first McPixel is actually McPixel and have the big chunky pixels only because it was for Ludum Dare, and I couldn't afford to have time to draw bigger graphics because the smaller graphics you draw, the less time you take. And in the end, I decided to keep it. So yeah, it's like a budget choice, not.
Yeah. But stylistically, it works. I'm trying to picture it with, like, you. That might actually be really funny if you just took pictures of you humping the thing. Just a thought. Yeah.
I wouldn't want pictures of me humping a thing.
I can see that. It is public, after all. Slow Holmes asks again, if you were going to use music from any band artist for a game, what band artist would you choose? Well, what's a music that you think would work well for your types of games?
I recently thought about it. Like, there are totally awesome types of music that get underused in games. Like, imagine a first-person shooter, and there is a ska music playing, like Jamaican ska, with trumpets and even lyrics. So yeah, you can take like a different spin on games, and some games even base around the music. Like there is a game for Commodore 64 actually. It's called Crackout. It's actually a breakout, but it goes like punk sideways. And it has a super crazy music, and the game is actually no good at all. It's just a breakout. Well, it is good, but it's just a breakout. There is nothing new in it. But the music keeps you playing, and the music is like, I don't know. Now that I listen to it, it feels like totally awful. It's like an 250 BPM 8-bit polka played on Commodore. So imagine what that could be. I would
That
sing
sounds
it, but
incredible.
yeah.
So Ghetto Blaster, I need to buy right away. Now Crack Out, you're
Crack out.
slowly. That's a That's a really funny name. At least the way crack is used in the United States a lot of the time.
No, it's crack like K with Kriak.
Oh, really? Either
Yeah.
way, it just sounds funny. I can never say his name. His real name is Kyle, but his the tag is Osifrakrat. I think that's how I say it. He asks, "What was the first game you played, if appropriate, to completion? What was the first game you ever played from beginning to end?"
The first game I ever played was to completion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the first games I played were completable. I had an Atari 260, 2600. The ones
Mm-hmm.
like the games that are not completable. You just play and get points and more points, and in the end, like the hardware overflows and everything breaks if you play too far. But you actually can do it like with Pac-Man.
Sure, like the
The
kill
first
streak.
game, I think it was Super Mario Bros. The original for NES. We actually didn't have Nintendos here in the old days. We didn't have
Oh,
NES. We only get Famicom clones. Because NES was made for American audience, and it is hard to be closed. It used like custom controller sockets, and it was hard to be cloned. But the original Famicom, released in Japan, was used like serial parts that you can buy in shop, and you could like assemble it in home back in the days. Go to a electronic shop and build your own. Yeah, it was like usually normal parts. So it got cloned by Chinese, by Russians, by like everyone. And we
oh.
got Famiclones. The first ones were actually now Famiclones are like there is a ton of plastic and nothing inside, like system on a chip. But the early ones were made from actually Japanese parts inside, and they were like really sturdy. And we get cartridges for Famicom. And the funny thing about it is that we played all the games from the NTSC region, where there is 60 frames per second, and we played it in PAL region, 50 frames per second. So we played every old school NES game slower. Like I played Mario on NES, and at one point I tried to play it on an emulator. I was like, this game is too fast. And I launched it back on the Famiclone, and hey, it's slower. And I realized that they are like ported NTSC games.
And the music must have sounded pretty different to you too, because
Yes,
it slows down everything.
it wasn't distorted, but it was just slower.
Ah, gotcha. It seems like so much of your perspective on video games and making games and everything is colored by living in a country where the whole video game industry was totally different. It was sounds like it was almost like a kind of a huge yard sale of video games nonstop.
Yeah, it was something like this. We got like I said, we got like pirated Commodore 64 tapes from shops, and we got also from shops like bootleg pirated cartridges. Like there were cartridges. Some of them even was pretty well made. Like I have a cartridge. It was really popular, and now it's really like collector's item. It was called 168 games in one. And there were like really cool games inside. You get Mario, you get Contra, and apart from that, you got trainers and cheat codes. You get change like number of life or number of tanks in Battle City. So yeah, it was a pretty well made cartridge.
Sounds pretty awesome. It seems like it might have instilled in you kind of this do-it-yourself attitude towards things, because in the United States, up until recently, if you were going to make video games, you had to be in a big studio. It's only through digital distribution over the past, say, 6 or 7 years that the do-it-yourself attitude has really started. But for Poland, you were doing it yourself from the start, just building your own Famicom at home and buying
No,
those
I
tapes.
wasn't building my own Famicom. I just said that you could have done it because the parts were widely available. But yeah, I liked actually making games like from the start. If I got the like early computers, I liked toying around with it. I had a mentor. He was like an old guy that is like Shaolin story. Like he was a teacher of maths in high school, and I was like an 8-year-old, and he was guiding me, like showing me, giving me like the five-inch floppy disks that were actually floppy with like Turbo Pascal and stuff for programming and books about it. And he started me into that, and then there was internet, and I didn't need any like guidance anymore. I could learn stuff myself, and I started doing, like, it was my hobby. I wanted to get like to computer studies, like I wanted to be a programmer, have a degree. But then I didn't get to the university. The educational system in Poland decided that I will not be a programmer. And also, there was like a compulsory draft. If you don't go to school after high school, you are going to army for 2 years. So yeah, so I was like, I need to do something. And there was like in a village nearby, they opened a teacher training college of foreign languages, and I immediately went there. And in the end, I became a teacher. I am only saying that the educational system in Poland decided that I will be an English teacher.
Did you actually go in the army?
No, I didn't, because I found school.
That's
No,
a relief. I'm terrified for you. Yeah, that sounds awful.
yeah,
And then
the
I'm
only
sorry,
way
go ahead.
to the only way to have it is not compulsory now, but then the only way to avoid the compulsory draft was to either be like not, like, be crazy. Just you have to play crazy between and then you get like it's called an E-class, and if there is a war happening, you get evacuated before children and women. The other
If you feign having a mental illness, you can. Wow,
yeah.
that's incredible. Were you tempted to do that in any way?
No, I wanted, because also it's hard to get a job if you have the E-class. It's hard to get a physical job then. So yeah, I
Right.
wanted to get an A-class,
Right.
but I didn't want to go to the army. So the only way to do it was to go to school.
Yeah, yeah.
Any
Well, it all
school.
kind
So
of
I
worked.
picked
I mean,
this.
if your
I go to
English weren't
school.
so good, it might have been harder to have McPixel end up having such an international audience. I mean, you speak
Yeah,
totally fluently.
it's actually pretty much helped me.
It hurt you? Did you get hurt?
It helped me.
Oh, you scared me. I
I
didn't
didn't
want
get
you to get
hurt.
hurt. I was like ready to. I was like, are you okay? I was all worried about you. How long have you had all of these ideas all the time? I do a podcast with a guy named Jim Sterling, who reminds me of you a little bit in that his
You say
brain
it
just
as
can't.
if you say it as if there's something wrong with me. How long have you had this interest?
Well, it makes me. I can't help but wonder what you were like
Condition.
growing up, where if someone who's able to write all of these levels in McPixel and just generate all these ideas that just. It's the kind of thing you can't ask for. Either you have the kind of brain that can generate that kind of stuff, or you don't. And I don't know how hard it was for you to think of all 100 levels, but it sounds like even with Ludum
Well,
there,
it,
I'm sorry, go
it
ahead.
actually was hard. It was pretty hard because when I was like 75 levels, I had like a list of stuff that I can do in McPixel. I was writing down anything that came to my mind, like a level supermarket, soccer level, coffee level, and stuff like that. And I was asking for ideas in the internet. I was like about 70 or 80 levels into the process of making them. Like, hey, I'm out of ideas, and I actually lost my lists. Give me some ideas. Hey, make a supermarket level. It is done. So make a Pokemon level. Hey, it is done. So make a level where Batman shoots a flashlight from his eyes. Hey, it is done. And yeah, even like the most craziest ideas, I have to say that they are already done. So in the end, I just started drawing stuff. I didn't think about it at all. I started drawing. Like I drew a level with my pixel, few items, and a bump or a hidden bump, and I had no idea what is going to happen. Then I started scratching my head like for half an hour what I'm going to do with all this stuff on the level, and I realized that if I start drawing without thinking, something will come up, and this is what I do. I just started drawing stuff, and it was pretty mindless. Like stuff just came up from it. I didn't actually think or design it in any way.
Huh, it's almost like it designed you, like the designs just happened to you. Did you end up
Yeah.
using some of those designs in the game?
Yeah, I used all the levels I made. I didn't exclude anyone.
Amazing. If you were given the opportunity to make a, I don't know, $15 million game, and they were like, but you have to keep designing the way you designed McPixel. You can't start thinking about what's going to sell and what's marketable, and you have to maintain that type of thinking. Do you think that you would be able to do it?
I don't think I would want to do anything that would restrain me from like doing anything I want.
But what if they said, we want you to do whatever you want? The only rule is you can't start thinking, oh, we have to make sure this game makes money. You have
Yeah,
to just not care.
I'm not thinking about it anyway, so I think it would be easy.
I hope someone gives you that money. I hope some wild millionaire out there, a multimillionaire, just likes McPixel and is like, fine, I'll give him $50 million to make a
That
game.
would spoil me. I don't know. How would I make games? Like now I'm forced. I have a budget, and the budget contains like time because I can pay like my all the taxes and rates and rent and food for some time, and I have this time to make a game. I think it's like uh, I don't actually think if the game would sell or not, but I have to make it. Even if it would sell like to cover a month of my expenses, my next game, and I took a year to make it, well, it would be a loss, but then I would have a month to make another one. Perhaps I will make a better game in a month than I made in a year.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
I have a selfishness, I guess. And that selfishness is I want the game everyone's talking about next year, not to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 or Grand Theft Auto 5 or games that I know. Like, I feel like I've already played Grand Theft Auto 5 and it's not even out yet. Like, I know what to expect. I want you to make Grand Theft Auto 5. That's what I want to have happen. And them just tell you, do whatever you want. Don't even talk to us about it. Just put out the
but
game.
Cactus is already making it, and it's called Hotline Miami.
I know that game's incredible.
Yeah.
I hopefully they'll be on the show at some point because I want more people to know about what they're doing. I don't know if we have any more questions. If we do, we have a little bit more time. We have 18 minutes, so Sinistar can throw up one, but maybe everyone did all the questions already. I am curious about if you've given thought to what you want to do after the Commodore 64 version of McPixel. Is there anything you're hoping you are going to get to do, or anything that you've had on the back burner for a little while?
I don't know. There is something that is going through my mind, but it is not like anything I can be sure I will be making because like game ideas appear and disappear all the time. But I have thought of this idea that I might share now. There is like an FPS game. I want my next game to be a 3D game. I actually made only 3D games in the beginning. Like I started with it with OpenGL and making 3D games, and then I realized that to reach a wider audience, I need to use Flash. And to use Flash, I need to make 2D games. And I switched to 2D games, and now I want to switch back. I have some experience. I think I am able to do it. A 3D game, an FPS game, like something like based perhaps on Thelemite, like totally mutant ninja action, but you play as a first person, and you can like jump totally high, like in Thelemite or Prototype or stuff through the city, and there are enemies, and when you approach them and want to attack them, instead of shooting like in FPS, you shoot yourself out of camera, and the camera toggles in the third person mode, and there is like fighting in third person mode, and there is like control with walking around in first person mode again, and you can like sneak up on stuff. And like this is my idea, is like in total threats I have only thought about this one mechanic that I might build my next game around, but it is nothing to be certain about. I just it's going through my head all the time, but yeah, I don't
It's
know
very
if I'm going to
exciting.
do it.
I hope that you do something with it because personally, I want more first-person games that don't go for realism. I feel like right now, a lot of the time, the first-person genre is anchored to like, well, you're feeling like a real guy doing a real thing, where it doesn't have to be that way. First-person can offer so many more exciting experiences than that, and go for hyperrealism or surrealism or whatever you want to call it. Did you ever play Jumping Flash on the PlayStation 1?
Nope.
Oh, I really want to send it to you. It's a first-person game, but I wouldn't quite call it a first-person shooter because you play as a robotic rabbit who can jump as like high as a skyscraper, and then double jump and go 2 skyscrapers high. And that's basically all you do is like jump really high and then fall really fast, and have to like place your jumps, lining up your shadow with where you wanna land, and just jumping on a giant robotic shark and just like pounding on it. It's pretty awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah, you might
Sounds-
like it. I would send it to you if I could somehow. Slow Holmes. Oh, he's really asking a lot of questions. Thanks, Slow Holmes. He asks, can you give a shout out to any good indie games that are underappreciated? And you have gotten to know a lot of indie game developers, it sounds like, in your rise to the top. So is there any games? We mentioned Hotline Miami. We mentioned Vlambeer. Are there any other games that you want to let people know about?
There is one game. I actually must admit that I don't play much indie games. I usually play. I actually don't play much at all. Mostly I play like retro games. I boot up my Commodore, and this is also once in a week or so. I think I should play more games. I should play perhaps more indie games because I'm playing Borderlands 2 at the moment. Like this is the game I'm playing. But yeah, the indie games. One thing that I really find interesting, I really like, is Nikki and the Robots. It's like a super simple platformer, but it's really plays really smoothly, like with some physics elements. You can topple boxes and stuff, and you can control robots. So you are Nikki, a cat girl, I don't know, a furry type. And you jump through pixely platforms, and you can control 4 robots, and the robots are made of platforms and buttons to push and different stuff. Yeah, and one robot have to topple a box that falls. Just see it, just look at the trailer. It's a really good game. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Who made that game? Do you know?
It was made by Ivan Gabovich, and I think there is a company that he has, but I don't remember the name.
Oh, interesting. And have you noticed that your time playing video games has decreased since you started spending more time making them, or has it stayed about the same?
I have never played much video games. I have never played a lot. But when I started making games, I played even less. I think I should, because they say that, well, you can't make games if you don't play games, because what are you making? It's like, I would like to cook meat if I am a vegetarian. I think it would be totally awful. I can cook it, but I won't eat it. Yeah. So like I make games. I usually make games that I want to play. Like you cook. If you cook something, you want to eat it later, unless
Well,
you are
like,
a chef.
But the thing about your games is they don't feel like food. They feel like more like hip hop or like splatter paint or like just avant-garde. Like they're beyond kind of the craft level for me, at least so far. They are well crafted. It's clear you don't want to put out a substandard product, but you come across as someone whose idea is just exploding. I mean, your brain is exploding with ideas, and you just need to put them down fast and get them done before they float away from you. And yeah, I don't know if you would need to play other people's video games to learn how to do that better.
I'm trying to picture my games being hip hop in a world of food games.
And I want you to make the sequel to Ghetto Blaster. That would be incredible. If anyone was born to make Ghetto Blaster 2, it was definitely you, if you ask me. Well, I'm racking my brain for what else I was going to ask you. And when I talk to someone exciting, sometimes I lose my mental notes and lose track of what I was going to talk about. Is there anything you wanted to talk about before the show wraps up? Because we just have a little bit more time.
I don't know. I don't know. Let me ask you some questions now. Let me interview you. So, what games have you made recently?
What games have I made recently? I haven't made any. I actually did the graphics for one game that, strangely enough, the writer for Borderlands 2 made. He designed it when he was younger and less important and less famous. So that was fun, but that's all I've ever done. And I've been thinking to myself a lot about how when I was younger, I used to be like you, bursting with creativity. But as I've gotten older, I have to apply my creativity to like solving all these real world problems all the time. I'm
Yeah.
married. I'm also a social worker in a psychiatric hospital. Not a lot of people know that, so I'm fixing people's lives all the time. And then when I get home, my creative spark is often kind of spent on doing all these real life problem fixing, which makes me so envious of you. You get to apply all your energy to just being awesome and making fun things. It's pretty great.
Yeah, but also there is like no one above me. I have to self-constrain myself. It is really hard. Like you have to
Mm.
kick your own butt, and it is hard to go around with like to make games to actually progress because there is like no one. You have no boss. If you are indie, you have no boss. No one tells you what to do. You have to make it up yourself and make sure that it is done properly and on time.
Yeah, that kind of discipline to me has always been really daunting. And it sounds like you ran into that while making McPixel. You had mentioned before that the progress of making the game kind of slowed down, that you had lost motivation. Why do you
Yeah.
think that was? What do you think caused you to lose motivation for a little bit there?
I think that it was because I was focused too much on it. I was focusing too much. You actually need to go out. You need to meet people. You need to get some fresh air to make games. You need to like have a life. It
Mm.
is hard at times. There are times, of course, when you have to crunch like 16 or even 18 hours a day, like by the end of development. But you don't have to do it all the time. And it is really important to go out to people and especially to other indie game developers
Mhm.
on all the meetups and the fun spots and stuff.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So do you think it was just putting all your energy into the game and not getting anything back out of it that caused you to kind of get burnt out for a little bit?
Yeah, perhaps it was that. Because I was just making them levels for McPixel, there was nothing to show. I could only like show one screenshot per level, and if I shown all the screenshots, the game would be like spoiled. All of
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing with a comedy game. It's hard to talk about it
But
without
yeah,
ruining the
one
fun of
thing
it.
that like brings back my motivation a bit at times is making awful games like the 1 hour game jams or 2 hour game jams or even 0 hour game jams. That one of them is happening next week.
Really?
This
A 0 hour game jam?
0 hour game jam. Yeah, it is like next week there is a daylight saving time shift and clocks wind back. So you have 2 a.m. and an hour later after 2 a.m. you have a 2 a.m. again. So we are making a game between 2 a.m. and 2 a.m.
And to be honest, do you ever prepare a little bit for those game jams? Like, I'll just do a little bit of character design, or I'll think of a little bit of an idea before it actually starts.
I always think about it like, man, this time I'm going to prepare like for a game jam for Ludum Dare, and then the team is announced, and I realized that I haven't prepared at all. Like I wanted, I wanted to make my first Flash game for Ludum Dare, and I thought, hey, now I have a free week, and I can learn Flash before the Ludum Dare, and I started learning Flash 2 hours into the Ludum Dare. So after it started, yeah.
That's the way to live. I personally envy that. I think that's a wonderful way to live your life, and I hope that you continue to get more rich and more famous throughout that. But are you concerned at all that getting bigger and bigger is going to change the way you make things? Because you talked before about if you were given $50 million, you'd be like, I don't really know what to do with this. I'd rather just make a game every couple of months and not have it be so huge. So, are you concerned at all that whether you like it or not, you might get bigger to a point where your process may change?
I actually thought about it, and I don't know what would I do. Like, what would I do?
I guess you won't. That's part of the exciting, the excitement of life is you don't exactly know what you would do. The closest I can think of is Suda51, who I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a Japanese game developer who made games that were just blatantly unmarketable for a long time. Have you
Oh,
heard of him before?
nope.
No, he made a game. His first game was Super Fire Pro Wrestling 3, I think, for either the Genesis or the NES. It's about a wrestler, and it's just a traditional wrestling game. And he wins, he becomes the champion, and at the end, he's like, "Well, I have nothing left to live for now that I've won. I guess I'll kill myself."
In
And
the
he
end of
does.
the game.
Yeah, yeah, that's how he started his career. That was his first game, and since then he's made. It's hard to even begin talking about how unmarketable most of his games are. And he reminds me of you as well, in that he said his philosophy towards game design is he digests everything from his world and then poops it out, and the game is his poop. It's just kind of the way he's filtered everything he's experienced in life, and he doesn't understand why he did what he did. He's just like, I just pooped it out, guys. I hope you like it. And now he's making all of these big name games that are getting marketed really well, but not selling all that well, like Lollipop Chainsaw. That was his last big game. He made a game about a teenage girl being the new president of Japan and flying a giant robot and killing aliens. It's coming out on the 3DS later this month. So yeah, he's had a weird course. I wonder if it would be similar for you.
I need to look into his game. I'm totally sold from what you're saying. Like, they sound awesome. I have no idea why you said that they are not marketable.
Well, I don't know. It's interesting. I'll email you about it. I feel like we're friends now, for real. So that's always fun. I'll keep in touch and let you know things. Vlambeer wants to know again. Are you participating in Fuck This Jam? Oh yeah, Vlambeer is really into Fuck This Jam. We need to talk about that.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a jam where you have to make a game in a genre that you totally hate. I am
Right, like when
totally
you made that roguelike a little bit.
Yeah, I thought about it because earlier, like Rami was asking, have you ever made a game in a genre that you hate and you liked the game in the end? And yeah, I thought about the roguelike, the Super Office Stress, and yeah, then they announced the Fuck This Jam, and I realized that there are actually not many genres that I hate. I enjoy all kinds of game. I like some RTS games. I like some first-person shooters. I like some like Tomb Raiders, and I mean third-person perspective games like platformer fighting stuff. And yeah, but yeah, I'm going to participate. I just need to find my type of game that I hate.
Huh, interesting. Maybe we can work that out real quick. We have a couple of minutes. To me, game genre is all screwed up right now. Like I was talking earlier, that I don't even know what a role-playing game is anymore, because some people think it's only a story-based game, other people think it's only if it's turn-based combat game, other people think it's any game with a character creator. It's all kind of a mess. But I do split genres into how games play or versus how or what the player does in the game and how it's supposed to make you feel, like horror or Heavy Rain was kind of a drama. So is there any type of game where you just don't like what the players are doing in it? Like Heavy Rain, for instance, where it's just kind of a murder mystery, a split personality murder mystery. Is that good? I'd love to see you make a split personality murder mystery. That's kind of where I'm going with that. If you remade Heavy Rain, that could be really fun.
I don't know. Oh, I know. Like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. I don't like what the player is doing. Like, I like to play my Skyrim like I play my GTA. So like killing everyone. This is like the most fun. Boot up Elder Scrolls, enter some cheat codes, have all the weapons and hack everyone. And there are some people that I can't kill. Why? I would like that. Yeah,
So maybe if you cross... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Plot important characters are just like you kill them and they stand up and hey, what's up?
I can see that. Are you kind of crossing Skyrim with your chess without turns, where you just go completely nuts and blow everyone away without following any rules whatsoever, like 100% nonstop?
I don't know. But I totally like making games where you can like go nuts while playing them.
Yeah, that totally makes sense to me. And as much as I love God mode in a game, it does, without any restrictions, it kind of gets tired quickly. You feel like you've blown up everything in all the different ways you can blow it up. There's not much more. But a game that unites God mode feeling with longevity and keeps you doing new things, that would really be awesome. Oh, we got to wrap up the show. I'm sorry. So
okay.
people should follow you on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle, Sos?
Sosowski
That's
is
you.
like
And, and you're on McPixel.com. Is that your own .com?
McPixel. No, it's not .net. Someone tried to
Oh.
sold me .com, but I don't want it.
My mistake. Of course you don't. And you have your own personal website? What would
Yeah,
that
it's
be?
sos.gd.
Yeah, it's very good. And I'm on Tronknots is my Twitter handle, TRONKNOTTS. And you can get the show on iTunes and Libsyn, and the re-recording of the video is on YouTube now on YouTube's channel, which is Detoid TV. So check that out. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh, and if you email me your favorite moment from McPixel, you can win a Sagat bobblehead. You know Sagat?
Awesome.
He's all right. Yeah, so everyone, email to holmesupholmes@gmail.com your favorite McPixel moment, and you're in the running to win a Sagat bobblehead. He's pretty cute. Thanks, guys.
Well, first Holmes was born, then he got fat, bald, and tired. Stop, Holmes.